I'm going to change my focus now in talking about tennis of the future. I've always called it two-forehand tennis. This is where one uses the left hand as a forehand rather than having any backhand, and one gets the power of the forehand on both sides. This is, of course, true and obvious, but I am now going to term it, phrase it, in another domain and dimension. Tennis of the future is ambidexterity. The ambidextrous person is the tennis player of the future. We all possess this ambidexterity from our source. It's obvious in our physiological makeup that we have two hands that work equally. And it's just a cultural fetish that we focus on one hand. This has been talked about as early as Plato, saying that there's no reason for man not to be ambidextrous. The cultural limitations that have occurred over the past few thousand years is due to the fact that the left hand has been associated with the feminine, with women, with girls. The left hand as being the other side of the body, the weaker side, the weaker sex. This association of the left with the feminine, with evil, is the reason why man has not developed an ambidexterity that's inherent in his makeup. So the tennis of the future is ambidexterity. The two-forehand approach, having two hands equally developed. This is a social role and a social development necessary in far reaches of the society, even to the level of world peace. That may sound strange, but even to the level of world peace, and at least the equalization of the sexes. Let us say that the left hand is the feminine, is the woman. So it certainly makes sense in today's modernity to equalize the male and the female sides of the body. For what reason do we keep the feminine, female side of the body harnessed and not utilized in the society, in a modern society that we have? There's absolutely no reason except a cultural blockage. So the first group of people that recognize this will have a tremendous advantage as being ahead of the curve. We could go into brain lateralization from using the two sides of the body equally and the different levels of thoughts that would occur. We could go into the social role of the feminine in our society and why we still have women not fully participant, equal members. And so this ambidexterity, ambidextrous man, is a forerunner of these principles that have to be included within the society for the society to grow at this time and not remain handicapped. Handicapped in the true sense of the word, hand. So let me just explain a little bit from the tennis point of view what the benefits would be by staying in the middle of the court and just shifting hands. One can get a right hand and then into a left hand and never lose their position in the middle by never having to turn, always facing the net. The other obvious positions would be on the serve. How at the deuce box, one could serve right-handed and pull the person off the court. And then in the left box, in the ad box, one could serve left-handed and pull the person off the court the opposite way, a la Nadal. One would not even need a ace-type serve, but just a spinner, like Nadal spins it off, gets the response, and then has the open court in the ad box. This two-hand usage would not even require aces. Also, the two-hand usage of the serve would be a surprise element. If one was getting used to one's right-handed normal serve, they could all of a sudden pull a spinner from the other side and change the timing of the person. That's just for the serve. The ground strokes is what is really the two-hand tennis is all about, and would prove the ambidextrous approach not only in a physical sense, but in a social and a perspective sense that is not obvious to a one-handed player. So this is the game of the future, tennis of the future, ambidexterity. No people have really done this yet. It's just been an odd one. But as a group, once it starts to manifest, one might be very surprised and see the advantages of ambidexterity. So instead of calling it two forehand tennis, for this video at least, I'm calling it tennis of the future, ambidexterity. And we're going to advance now the ambidextrous concept of philosophy of life, social manifestation, peace manifestation, and other furtherings of the ambidextrous mindset.